Us now is Mara Gillespie, BlueStack Strategies founder and principal. Thank you so much for being here. Let's kind of pick off on this issue of the donors. I want to pull up this graphic. It really shows how much more money Biden's campaign has spent in the swing states more than Trump. It is many times more, in fact. Yet, when you look at, essentially the polls, it's not working. So I'm wondering whether or not you think, if you're the Biden campaign, and there it is, you can see the blue Biden, red Trump. If you're the Biden campaign, what's the strategy? Can you outspend and out-add this crisis?
I think that's what they're going for here. I mean, obviously, time is of the essence. They realize this now that the polls have showed that they are really far behind. And it is not just because of the debate performance. Obviously, that was I believe, a wake-up call to a lot of the Democrats in the party who more or less have been lied to by their party leaders, assuming that this was the best choice. I mean, think about when Biden ran in the first place. He said, I'm the only person that can beat Donald Trump. I think he might be the only person that could lose to Donald Trump at this point, along with Kamala Harris. The numbers just don't show that he is a viable candidate for them. And yet they're going to continue to spend their donors' money like that they are. And at what end, right? I mean, to what end will it take for Joe Biden to realize that this is not the path forward, and in his ideas of preserving his legacy, is that really what it's about? Because if that's what it is, then the best way to preserve his legacy is to step away and to let someone else run.
What would your strategy be, your advice to the Trump campaign at this moment with all the chaos going on the left?
Well, it's interesting because I do believe he's doing the right thing right now, Donald Trump, by staying low, not getting involved in the fray of this, because Joe Biden has run a campaign basically saying, I am stability, I am calm against Trump being chaos and disarray and all these things. Well, right now, the Democratic Party is not, unified right now. They're not in a solid position. So it's really backfired. And I think it's best that Donald Trump stays kind of out of it, because let them kind of deal with it themselves. He doesn't need to get involved, and the polls are in his favor. So why would he try and tip the scales or threaten his poll position by getting involved?
The Republican National Convention is a week away, a chance, obviously, for Republicans to really get back in this conversation. A lot of talk about the VP picks. Washington Post is reporting that the top two finalists are Senators Marco Rubio and J.D. Vance. Who do you think gets the nomination, and what's the upside?
Out of those two choices, I'm really not sure. I've been thinking that it was going to be Tim Scott. But I do think that in any scenario, the vice president pick is more important now than it probably ever has been in any other election, because of the age of both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, should he continue to be the candidate come November. But we really haven't had to look too closely at the vice presidents, before an election. And we really do need to now, because the future of the White House, the future of our commander in chief, really could lie in the vice presidency. So that'll be an important factor to look at. I guess between the two, if I had to choose between Rubio and J.D. Vance, I suppose I would say Rubio, but, really, it's anyone's guess at this point.
Yeah, a lot of talk about Rubio and his advantage perhaps with Hispanic voters, his ability to go on Univision and Telemundo and speak in Spanish. I mean, that's got to count for something right now.
That's what I'm thinking. I think if there's a benefit there, that would have to be it. I don't really see any net benefit to having someone like a J.D. Vance. Truthfully, I don't see what he brings to the table. Not policy-wise and not really personality-wise. So I would, again, if those are the two choices. But again, Donald Trump could change his mind last minute, right? He has until, the convention will be an interesting time. It's just next week, but he could really change his mind. So I don't know that anyone, despite polls or despite what they're saying, really has a clue what's going to happen next week.
Mara Gillespie, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thanks. Have a good one.